Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Thank you once again for joining me for tea time. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. So today we have some Fireside. That is from my Dark Moon tea collection. If you haven't picked any of those up, definitely do so. Check them out. This is Fireside. It's got that smokiness to it. Smokiness. Smoky? Yeah, something like that. It's smoky. It's like if you're sitting around a campfire. Just if you like smokiness, this is it. So, Fireside. So good. So good. Anyways, guys, the question today is it the right time for you to upgrade your kit? Upgrade your camera body. Is it time? Is now a good time? And we talk about this a lot because right now in the market, there's a lot of people that are looking at the prices. The prices are coming down a little bit and they're like, wow, maybe I should jump in there and do an update or an upgrade to what I currently have. And most of the time I'll say no, but we're going to go through the cameras that I have used over the years, and I'm going to tell you why I upgraded them. And I'm going to also tell you why I was stupid to upgrade some of them and why I was pretty smart to upgrade others. And this will hopefully give you an understanding of what my thoughts were, and maybe it will translate into what you should do in your situation. All right? Learn from my stupidity instead of making your own mistakes. Anyways, guys, before I get into it, I want to say thank you so much. Yesterday, so many of you guys picked up the PRT, the photo reference tool. It looks like this. If you haven't seen the video yet on this product, this thing, I use this for all of my coloring. I've used it for years. I invented it to be basically a gray card on crack with this dual axis color control on the back. If you don't know what it is or why it works, check out my last video. You'll hear about it over there. And also, if you guys still need any of the Aurora cleaning products, definitely check them out. I have that 50% off still. Right now, you can go over to the website, JCristina.com, use YT50, and this specific product, you'll get 50% off. What it is a microfiber cleaning cloth. You get a multiple in there. They look like this. They come with wet that's pre-moistened and dry. You clean with wet and then you clean with the dry. They basically kill 99% of all bacteria. I believe it's 93 or more % of all virus, and it does have an antifungal in there. And it's a high quality 2-ply microfiber. None of that frayed edge nonsense junk. This is the good stuff. It'll be hard for you to throw them away. Trust me on that. Anyways, once again, 50% off over on the website. Use YT50 at checkout. Anyways, so let me start out by showing you some of my cameras, guys. Some of my cameras. Now, some of you be like, oh my God, you have that? So let me start out by showing you this one. This is a Minolta SRT102. If you've never seen that, look at that. That is a goodie, an oldie, but a goodie. Is it going to focus on it? It might. You know, Canon loves to focus on my face. Let me see. And I move it away, and there it goes. It already focused back on me. Thank you, Canon. That's why I use you, all right? Anyway, so this is the Minolta SRT102. It is my first camera. It is a film camera. It is fully manual. This is how I learned. Everything is manual. There's nothing automatic on this at all, okay? So I love this. I shot just tons and tons and tons of roll of 35mm on this, and I still use it to this day to do my black and white fine art work. Okay, I do big monster 60x40 prints, and I use this. All right, I absolutely love it. I have some in here, but I can't go run and get them. I'll show you in another video. Anyways, I still use this. I love it. Now, I moved into digital, and when I did, I went to a Canon 10D. After that, I bought a 20D, and there it is. It's an old one. This is the 20D. I put a lot of shots into this. I cut my teeth basically with this, and it was 8.2 megapixels, which isn't too bad. Well, a year or so later, they came out with what? The 30D. Now, did I buy it? I did, guys. And there's the 30D. Now, put a check mark into stupidity for me. All right, we're going to put one right now because I went from the 20D to the 30D, and the 20D shot 8.2 megapixels and this shot 8.2 megapixels. And there wasn't that much of a difference between the 20D and the 30D. So, stupid. But I did make that move as I thought it was going to be better and yada, yada, yada. And it ends up being basically the same thing. All right. So this was stupidity. Now, when the 30D was kind of getting a little long in the tooth and 40D came out, I'm like, well, should I buy the 40D? And yes, I did. All right. And this right here, I believe, yes, it is. This is the 40D. Let me see. Can you see that? I know Canon just loves to focus in on my face. But anyways, let's see if it pops back to me. Does it? It did. That's why I love you. Good job, Canon. Good job. Good job. Anyway, so this is the 40D, and I put a ton of photos into this one. I actually did some weddings with this camera, and it did a pretty good job. Now, it went from the 8.2 megapixels to 10.1 megapixels, which isn't bad. It did a good job. Now, as far as was this a worthwhile upgrade from the 30D to the 40D, I would have to say yes. It did a little bit better with ISO. I was able to be a little less grainy, so my images, like I said, those wedding images way back, looked better. All right, so this was an upgrade. I'll put a check mark over here for me saying yes, moving from that 20 to the 30 was stupid, but from the 30 to 40 made sense for me for what I was doing. All right, so not too bad. Now, after that 40D came out, I said, you know, I want to go more into the professional side, but in the commercial side, and I need to get a serious rig at this point, and I did. I ended up starting to shoot a lot of fast action stuff, and I needed to be able to motor some images digitally, right? So what did I buy? I bought a 1D. So this 1D was like $6,000, $7,000, something like that. You can see, I mean, look at this battery on this mega thing. All right. Just awesome. This thing lasts me like all day. But the thing is, this camera is 4.15. That's right. Not even 4.25 megapixels at like $6,000, $7,000. But it would just motor through a ton of images. So was this a good purchase for me? Hell yes. I made cash with this camera. A lot. This thing has seen, let me see. Can you see the back screen? It's like cracked. Can you see that? I don't even know. Anyways, this thing made a ton of money. All right. Well worth every penny I put into it. For definitely a check mark for smart move when it comes to this 1D. Even though it was only 4, and let's call it 4.25, 4 megapixels. Nothing much. Well, after that, I said, you know, I want to move into a little bit more of that wedding stuff because this is great, but it was a serious rig and it really wasn't good for weddings. If you want to get some large images and some prints, 4 megapixels is, God, it's not enough. It really isn't. So we ended up going with a 7D. Now this is APS-C, just like the 20D, the 10D, the 30D, the 40D that I just showed you. 7D. Not a bad camera at all. It did a really good job. I put a lot of work into this and I did a little bit of video with it. Not too much, but a little bit of video. So what I would do is if I would shoot an event or a wedding or something like that back then, I would take a little bit of video and I would give it to them almost like a little side thing. Be like, oh, look at this, you know? It wasn't something that I got paid for, but I just did it because it was able to do it. But you had to pull your own focus. There wasn't like, you know, I push on my nose here on the screen and it focuses right on my nose. No, you're pulling focus in manual, right? So yeah, it did a good job. Was this a value for me? Did it help? Absolutely yes, it did. It just made sense. It was 18 megapixels now, so we're starting to get up there a little bit, and it was definitely worthwhile. Now, I don't have it anymore, but I got a 7D Mark II. Also, got rid of that, but was that a value? Yes, it went up to 20.2 megapixels, but what it did in comparison to this, that only went up to like 6400 ISO, it went to, I think it was 16,000 ISO. Now, when you're shooting in just a hella garbage light, where it's dark all the time, that came just, it was awesome. It was awesome. Less noise. You were able to shoot in just some terrible light, and you were able to pull them out in post-production without a problem. So that move from 7D over to the 7D Mark II was not a bad deal also. Check mark for me on that one. Now after that, I said, you know what, I want to go into full frame because full frame just sounded like it would be the place to be, especially for doing the event work where you're just in just the crappiest light and it's dim and it's just horrible. I said, you know, we need to do that. So I ended up picking up a 5D. Now this is the original 5D Mark I. And this camera shot 12.7 megapixels, but it did just such a better job at handling that low light when it comes to noise. And at that point, instead of using the cheaper lenses, I was able to buy EF lenses, like for example, the same ones that I have now, the 24-70, the 70-200, the Canon Macro 100, and all the rest of them. Really, really good glass. And we know glass is one of the most important things when it comes to photography. The bodies are important, but glass is mission critical to have good glass. So I used this for quite some time and I said, you know, I'm thinking about upgrading. What else is new, right guys? What else is new? I said, you know, I like that 5D Mark II. Do you think I should get it? You know, it was like 2000 something. It was tricky. I said, you know, let's go ahead and do it. Now, I went to the, let me first say, I get a good check mark on that 5D because it was such a value. Because I was able to shoot in that low light, it ended up being much better, and it was worth it. Now, like I said, this 5D Mark II, the 5D Mark II I bought. The reason I bought it is not because it had so much more megapixels. It did. This is 21.1 megapixels in comparison to only 12.7 megapixels. The low light capacity is better, definitely better. It goes up to, I think it's like about 25,000 ISO. But what it did that was unbelievable at the time was it was the first DSLR that allowed you to shoot video, HD video. You were still pulling your focus, but allowed you to create cinematic, like TV production, movie production, cinema type video with a DSLR. And this was a game changer. So was it a value? Definitely a check mark for me here doing this update. This made me money, guys. Lots of money. I have a few of these, not one. I have like 3. Anyways, the 5D Mark IIs were unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. Lots of money with those. Now, after this, I did go with a 5D Mark III. Now, that 5D Mark III I have on the other side of the room had 23 megapixels, whereas this one was 21 megapixels, let's call it. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but where it was better is that it was able to go all the way up to ISO 100,000, 102,400 or whatever, compared to 25,600. So it did better when it came to, let's say, noise, okay? Shooting in the dark like we do for events. So that purchase for the 5D Mark III to me was a give and take. Yes, it was good, it was a value, but could I just simply get away with this? The answer is yes. So I would have to say, let's put a check mark into stupidity column, all right? Because I really didn't need the 5D Mark III. It just didn't have to be. Did it help a little bit? Yes. But did I absolutely need it? No. And then after this, of course, I ended up with the latest and greatest 1DX, but that was not for events. That was more for that fast action sports and motorsports for me. I used to go to Moroso Motorsports and sit there and capture a lot of the motorcycles and the cars coming by on the tracks, and you would motor through with that thing, just doing this thing. All right, so it was really, that was definitely worth it because it paid for itself. Now, there was other cameras that I've had in between here, like a 6D and some other stuff that we've gotten rid of, but these are kind of the meat and potatoes. Now, I cannot forget this 80D here that we're currently filming on. I looked at the 90D, but I haven't bought it. I looked at it and said, do I need 4K or is this 1080p enough? And I figured 4K is really not where I need to be this second. Will it? Maybe soon? Yes, but for right now, this 1080p is doing enough. And this is where I want to get into the conversation with you guys. These are some of the cameras that I've went through, some of them, probably about half of them. But coming full circle, the question is, should you buy the latest and greatest camera? Now, you see where I've went wrong and you see where I've went right. I think that if you go through in your mind and say, will this upgrade provide me with more income? The answer to the upgrade is 100% yes. If you ask yourself, will this upgrade lessen the amount of time it takes for me in post-production? Time is money, right? The answer is absolutely, the upgrade is worth it. If you look at the new camera and say, I absolutely love this feature and it'll just simply make me happy, all right? It'll make me more creative. The answer is absolutely yes. Buy that upgrade. It's okay. Also, if you have a new client or maybe a current client that requires you to do something different than what your current gear allows you to do, then you have to ask yourself one additional question. Is this a one-time gig, or is this going to be a long-term project? Will you be making that money back for purchasing the new upgrade, the new body? And if the answer to that is yes, you're going to be using this long-term, then the upgrade is worth it. But if the answer is no, it will not be long-term and it's probably just a single gig or maybe 2 gigs, my suggestion to you would be to rent. Now, that is exactly what I do, guys. When I do professional video work, I rent in Canon C-series cameras, C100, C200, 300s, 500s, whatever it is that we need. And normally it's multiple, 2 or 3 of them. I rent them in. Why? Because I don't want the outlay of money to sit here because I don't do it enough. Do they make me a lot of money, these gigs? Yes. But to buy that in and let it sit there like a car as it depreciates and just watch it become cheaper and cheaper as it just sits there doesn't make sense to me. I would rather rent it in when I need it, and that is it. It's the same thing that I do when I shoot my fashion work. All right? My fashion work, I shoot medium format. And most of the time, I use Hasselblad. So I will rent them in. I'll put it into the cost of the gig. All right? I'll rent those Hasselblads in, all of the high-end gear, the lenses, everything, probably $40,000, $50,000 worth of gear. I'll shoot with it, and then I will return it. That's it. I don't want that sitting here in the studio, gathering dust, and definitely depreciating. It would be a stupid move. Right? That's it. Stupid move. So if any of these questions you answered no to, all right, and rental is not for you, I personally think what you should do is spend your money either on a new lens or on education, because lenses are forever, quote unquote, but education is certainly forever. You cannot take that away. It is very, very valuable. You can take a camera that you currently have, learn more about it, and get more out of it. Squeeze it for everything that it's worth. Because in most cases, the camera gear that you currently have is good enough for what you're doing. All right, guys? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. This was kind of fun to put together. There's a whole bunch of cameras around me now. Like I always say, if you got something from this video, please throw me a big thumbs up. That would be helpful. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you can get all my content when it becomes available. And click the bell icon so when it is available, you will be notified of it. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me. That would be awesome. And finally, if you haven't downloaded my ebook, go over to JCristina.com/ebook. Once again, JCristina.com/ebook. 10 tips at making sharper images. Perfect for both amateur and professionals. There's something in there for everyone. Go download it, JCristina.com/ebook. Also, join me daily in our community, our creative community, our Discord server over at community.jcristina.com, community.jcristina.com. Go check it out. It is awesome. There is smarter people over there than I am, for certain. get in there, get involved. So anyways, guys, I am out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy. Take care.